Okay. Welcome to Miracle Network's Wednesday meditation. I'm so glad you're all here to share this time together. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click on the subscribe button below to receive updates and notifications. Today we are joined by Keith Kavanagh, who will lead us in meditation, and then we have 20 minutes of silence. After that, we open it up for sharing. We tend at 10:45. Over to you, Keith.
Thank you very much, Dan. Lovely to be back amongst you this morning. Um, Here's a lovely, simple, direct, condensed quote from A Course in Miracles, from chapter 29, section 9, paragraph 2. A dream of judgment came into the mind that God created perfect as himself, and in that dream was heaven changed to hell, and God made enemy unto his Son. How can God's Son awaken from the dream? It is a dream of judgment. So must he judge not, and he will waken. So on the first level, this is a beautiful, simple statement that says awakening is the end of judgment, because guilt, wrongness, doesn't exist. On the other hand, this could leave us feeling quite despairing when we look at the mess in our head and the sheer volume of judgments that are happening every minute, every mind, every hour, never mind every day, never mind every week and every month. How do we stop those judgments? Sounds like a mammoth task. Sounds like an impossible task. How do you stop the judging mind from judging? And yet, the Course provides the answer. Lesson 151 says, you have often been urged to refrain from judging, not because it is a right to be withheld from you. You cannot judge. You merely can believe the ego's judgments, all of which are false. So here is hope. The good news is that that insane voice talking to itself in your mind, what the Course calls the wild illusion, frantic and distraught, but without reality of any kind, it's not you. So now the task becomes simpler. It's to discover what I am that cannot judge. Because I can't judge. That's not possible. That's not in my nature. I can only believe what the mind is telling me and then think I am the one that's thinking those judgments. But I can't judge. So the Course meets us in a state of not knowing what we are. And its stated objective is know thyself. There is nothing else to seek. And so the good news is we don't have to fix the mind. We have to discover what we are if the mind is not what we are. So lesson 68, you who were created by love like itself can hold no grievances and know your capital S self. Because your capital S self can't judge. And you are already that. To hold a grievance, which means to believe the mind's judgments, to hold a grievance is to forget who you are. Because you can't judge. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. To hold a grievance is to let the ego rule your mind and to condemn the body to death. Perhaps you do not yet fully realize just what holding grievances does to your mind. It seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. So when we believe the mind's judgments and claim them as ours, we think we're something that doesn't exist. A judge, an opposer, a war maker. But it's not true. So there is a truth about what we are that's already here. But when there is judgment, we lose touch with the truth of what we are and think we're something that doesn't exist, something that can judge. So in Chapter 31, Section 5, paragraph 17, it says, "There is no statement that the world is more afraid to hear than this. I do not know the thing I am, and therefore do not know what I'm doing, where I am, or how to look upon the world or on myself. Yet in this learning is salvation born, and what you are will tell you of itself." So the Course is a blueprint for awakening from the dream that those judgments in your mind are true, that they're yours, that they should be listened to, that you should be guilty over them, that you have to go to war with them. Course in Miracles is about waking you up from all of that by realizing it's not you. It doesn't matter if there's a million judgments there or none, they're not you. So the Course is about discovering, what am I? Know thyself. And the very simple method, the little willingness that's asked of us, the miracle itself, isn't forcing ourselves to forgive life circumstances and people that we don't want to forgive. That's not what leads to the holy instant of self-discovery. Instead, we're asked to look at the judgments in our mind and not judge them. The mind can't do that. The mind must judge. The mind can only judge. It can only separate out. So what witnesses the judging mind without a judgment of it
Keith, you're on mute at the moment, Keith.
Thanks, Jim. It should be remedied. So the miracle involves looking at the wrong mind, the one that can only judge, and not judging it. And by that activity, coming to know the truth of what we are that can't judge. Something outside the mind. Spirit. That's the process. It's not fixing the mind. It's not forcing the mind to stop judging. The mind can only judge. It's about discovering what you are that's not that mind, and which cannot judge, by witnessing the mind without judgment. What can witness the thing that can only judge without judgment isn't the thing that can only judge. What you are can tell you of itself. So, in our meditation today, the mind can do whatever it wants. Again, if there's one thought there or a million, it doesn't matter, because they're not you. So when we meditate, we'll have an onslaught of judgments. This is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. This should be here, they shouldn't be here. You should be doing this better. Why can't you stop thinking? These are all judgments. But forgiveness is still, and it quietly does nothing. It offends no aspect of reality, nor does it seek to twist it to appearances it likes. It merely looks and waits and judges not. And by that act of letting all things be exactly as they are, the truth of what we are can tell us of itself. So we will meditate together, and when thoughts come, you want to practice doing nothing about them. You want to practice forgiveness. You want to witness the insane mind, which isn't you, without judging it, in order to get in touch with something ineffable, something unthinkable, holy place, which has never been violated by thoughts, never been touched by experience. And the means to that is taking our hands off the steering wheel. It's not controlling thoughts. It's not trying to twist them to appearances we like. It's letting all things be exactly as they are. So the measure of this meditation is not how many thoughts and distractions and grievances and judgments arrive. It is, how well did I forgive them? And in that forgiveness, was there something else to who I am that was beginning to tell me of itself? What is it? What is this place in my mind that can't judge? And each time I forgive, it's a portal home out of the judging mind to the mind that cannot judge. So that's what we'll use our meditation for together today. So when you're ready, you can close your eyes down and begin forgiving the mind instead of trying to do something with it. And Dan will ring a bell in 20 minutes to tell us that the meditation is done.
Open your eyes and come back into the room. If you'd like to share, raise your hand and I'll invite you to take yourself off mute. Teresa.
Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you a bit.
Oh, can you? That bell was very loud.
Thank you for your insights. Yes.
It was very moving, Teresa.
Who'd like to share? Norman, take yourself off mute.
Thank you. I missed the first start of your presentation, Keith, and so I wasn't going to say anything. But the question is, when my ego has a conversation with itself, and I know that's all that's happening, how do I go about stopping it or observing it when it's answering its own questions and making me think that it's me that's getting involved with it?
Yes. Um, the minute we have in mind that we want to stop something, it's a grievance. So that splits us off from the truth of who we are. And so the only way out is forgiveness. So if thoughts arrive and I try to push them away and get rid of them and fight them, they come back stronger. It's like putting them on steroids. It's like gremlins when you put them underwater. They start multiplying when you apply force against them. But the power of forgiveness, again, the Course says, what can frighten me if I let all things be exactly as they are? So we can get very caught in our meditation going, why will the thoughts not stop? Why can I not fix them? Why do I keep getting hypnotized by them? Why can't I just have silence? And these are judgments. That's still the mind. And so what the Course is saying to us is, but what would be here in this moment if you let the mind do whatever it wanted? What would be here in this moment if I let all things be exactly as they are? What would be here if my fight with experience ended? What if I was no longer pushing and pulling on thoughts and feelings and sensations? And what if I was stop trying to push things away and grasp happy experience towards me? What would happen if I just let go? What would happen if I let go of the steering wheel? What
Probably
would be,
nothing.
pardon?
Probably nothing.
What would be here would be nothing, but it's an alive, awake, non-conceptually intelligent nothing. It would be your right mind. And so the Course says the other way is remaining quiet, even in the midst of the turmoil you may make. The mind is going to make its turmoil. That's what it does. It's a mischief-making machine. It's going to make its turmoil. But it is possible to know that there is perfect peace even in the midst of the turmoil. And so the peace we're talking about, the silence, the stillness, the no thingness that's here in the middle of the turmoil, it has nothing to do with the noise of the world. It has nothing to do with the noise of the mind. It is the silence of non-judgment, the silence of letting all things be exactly as they are and without interpretation. And this is how forgiveness allows us to awaken. We don't have to fix the mind's judgment. It's a judgment machine. That's what it is, but it's not us. And the way out is non-resistance, non-opposition, non-doing, non-fixing, non-seeking. The miracle comes quietly into the mind that stops an instant and is still. Not the mind. That won't stop. Not for a while. The mind has its own momentum. It's not going to stop. But you can stop interpreting it. You can stop reacting to it. You can stop having thoughts about what thoughts are doing. What you can do is let all things be exactly as they are. You can use forgiveness, which is still and does nothing. It offends no aspect of reality. In this moment, thoughts are here, arguing with themselves, fighting with each other, telling each other stories. I don't want to offend any aspect of that, nor do I seek to twist it to appearances I like. I'm not saying I will be holier when these are gone. I'm going, what's the holiness that's here if I don't oppose that? So forgiveness merely looks and waits and judges nothing. And in that non-judgment, we get a glimpse, a glimmer of our true nature, which actually can't judge. It can only allow all things to be exactly as they are. So that would be the process, Norman. Would that make sense?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks, Norman.
Okay, who'd like to share? Linda, and then Ayu.
Thank you, Keith. As soon as, well, not as soon as, it could have been a couple of minutes after we started meditation, this dog that I'm looking after, it's a Westie and it barks.
Mm-hmm.
I'd left my back door, my French doors open, and there was something going on next door. I couldn't hear anything, but she could. And she started to bark and bark. And I could just let it. I was quite amazed that I was just in peace.
Yeah.
But she kept on, and then she ran out and she was barking outside, and I'm still keeping this. I was amazed that I could not react. And then I thought, right, I'll just go get her in and come back to meditation. Which is what I did. I put myself on, take myself off video, got her in, and there she is. Asleep.
There she is, your guru, teaching you to allow
And
all things to be exactly as they are.
that's right. What I was thinking is, I felt that it was the right thing at that moment just to get up, get her in with no aggression, no thoughts. And I have amazed myself that I could do it. I could just have no judgment with her. That's what she does. I'm absolutely amazed at the stillness and the quietness that I had.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. This is what the Course wants to teach us. Quick quote from chapter 4. It cannot be emphasized too often that correcting perception is merely a temporary expedient. It's necessary only because misperception is a block to knowledge, while accurate perception is a stepping stone towards it. The whole value of right perception lies in the inevitable realization that all perception is unnecessary. So what the Course is teaching us is that the world is all things working together for good. There are no exceptions, except in the ego's judgment. Everything is exactly how it should be for the world's only purpose, which is awakening through non-judgment, through forgiveness. So the fact is, because the world is exactly how it should be for its only purpose, which is forgiveness, not the ego's purposes of happiness and looking great and people loving you and having loads of money and doing everything your ego wants. It's not for that. If you pursue that, you'll suffer. But we shift the world's purpose as Course in Miracles students, and we understand everything's perfect in this moment. Now, what that means is no interpretation is necessary. I can let all things be exactly as they are. And as you've beautifully said, Linda, it doesn't mean you become a vegetable. It doesn't mean you let everything walk all over you, right? What it means is that when we first of all let all things be exactly as they are, we end interpretation. Okay? We just move into this place of surrender, acceptance. Everything's perfect. Maybe there's discomfort coming up in me. That's why it's perfect. I get to be with this and not judge it. And now it can be undone. But once I've done that, once my first step is letting all things be exactly as they are, the end of judgment, now I can let spirit operate through me in the most effective, loving, helpful way possible. See, and it happens automatically. It doesn't come from judgment. You didn't have to go, that damn dog, she's after ruining my meditation. I can't believe it. You didn't have to do that. Your peace could be completely held in place by you noticing the dog, letting it be exactly as it is. And at some point, there was an insight that says, I'm just going to let the dog in. And it didn't come from judgment. It didn't come from grievance. It didn't come from seeing a problem. It was simply a response to the moment that didn't come from judgment. So that was perfect.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely, it was as though it was an opportunity, a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed. I could not in any way get wound up.
Yes. It's unnecessary. That will be interpretation. And once we let all things be exactly as they are, that's the end of suffering. And now insight will just simply dictate how we respond to the moment instead of reacting to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks, Linda. That was a great opportunity for us all to learn from.
Ayu, would you like to share?
Thank you. I think, Keith, you answered my question before asked, but I was curious that once you started to let exactly what the Keith as a human being as it is, how you think how do you think human being Keith were acting in this world from, because you let this go exactly as it is. And I was just curious that as a human being, Keith, what do you think is shift and change it?
Yeah.
But I think you answered my question.
Well, you see, even if we're in the midst of a massive ego attack, the worst thing we can do is go, oh, I'm having an ego attack. This shouldn't be happening. I'm a course student. I'm failing the course. These are all judgments, right? So, so the course is going, but what would happen if you let it be exactly as it is? Now, the ego tells us if you do that, you'll go mad. You'll wreck the house. You'll attack the neighbors. You'll end up in jail, right? You'll become amoral. Turns out that's not true at all. It turns out that when an ego attack is happening and you have enough sense to not go into judgment and you go, but what if I just let it be exactly as it is? The instant you do that, your true identity starts to separate itself out from the mess. And it becomes a kind of a space around the mess. The mess is still going, right? But suddenly, because you didn't oppose it, because you are peaceful with the non-peace being here, peace is here. in the middle of the non-peace. The minute you forgave yourself for not being at peace, there was a peace here. And that peace starts melting like ice cubes all of the obstacles to the awareness of love's presence. So this is the power of forgiveness and how it works, is that we bring peace to the non-peace instead of being unpeaceful about it. That's our trap. We keep falling into. It's like, oh, look at my judgments. I'm such a bad person. We keep reacting to the mind's judgment with more judgment. And the Course is going, but what if you just let it be exactly as it is? What if the pushing and pulling and judging stopped? There would be peace here, even in the middle of the non-peace. And the presence of that peace starts dissolving like ice cubes everything in front of it. It might take 5 seconds. Sometimes it's instant. Sometimes it could take 5 hours. Sometimes you'll work in it for 5 days. So what? Because as long as you're peaceful with the non-peace being here, it's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. It's the resistance that messes us up. Thanks, Ayu.
Okay, we've come to the end of our time together. Thank you, Keith. That was wonderful. What a great way to start the day. And take yourself off mute and show your appreciation to Keith.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Keith.
Thank you,
Keith.
Keith.
Thank
Thank you
you
very
very
much.
much.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
You.
There's a big heart for you. Proper heart.
Northern Ireland heart.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Top of the morning to you, Keith.
Thanks, Dan.
Oh, dear.
Welcome.
Bye. Thank you very much.